I know now that my wife has become host to a Kandarian demon. I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of violent dismemberment.
It's truly frightening.
Because you were home.
Oh man, I got this. Take one for me too, man. Yeah, kitty.
What's up, everyone? It's Thursday night, so you know what that means. It is Three Corners of Horror live here on Horror Fiend TV. I am Joe, the psychologist, and tonight it's not three corners, it's actually four corners. So joining us again is the fourth corner, Lexi. Lexi, how are you tonight, my dear?
I'm good. How is everybody?
Pretty good. Finally been enjoying this beer.
Drink one for me.
And of course, my brother, JR the villain. How are you doing?
Man, another slow burn of 2024. I don't know what it is. Slow burns rocked and people now are coming too. So, hey, I got my slow burn sister down there, so can't wait to talk about this one.
Yeah.
And of course, I've got my beer brother, Ricky. How are you doing tonight?
Gas, grass, and ass. No one rides for free. Let's go.
I love the cup. That is badass.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and so tonight we're going to be discussing the 2024 movie Strange Darling. It was directed and written by JT Mollner, and it stars Willa Fitzgerald as the lady, Kyle Gallner as the demon, and Barbara Hershey as Genevieve. This was a big surprise for me. I'm going to be honest with you, and basically what the movie's about, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's going to get spoiled. So if you want to come back, watch the movie. It's on Paramount Plus right now. And then come back after you're done so you see what we thought about it. But if you saw it, thank you for joining. But yes, this is another cat and mouse. The one thing that I did know that JT Mollner wanted to turn on its head the trope of the final girl. And that's kind of what he was shooting for in this movie, which you had two individuals basically going after each other. And I'm just going to jump on right quick to the fact that, we got the twist about halfway point. I thought the movie was kind of a good little nod to the house that Jack built, as far as being built in chapters. And then, Pulp Fiction, it's the fact that the movie is not in a straight order. I love that because you had to actually focus to put this movie together in your head, even through the slow burn parts. But yes, as it turns out that, the lady herself was a serial killer and the demon was actually a cop. So, actually, who wants to take this one first? Put the first hand I see
Ladies
up.
first.
Ladies first? All right, Lexi. What'd you think when they gave the reveal that, she's actually a serial killer and he's a cop? What'd you think about that?
I loved it. I didn't expect the twist because, the movie starts off like the cop's chasing her. Well, you don't know he's a cop, but the man's chasing her. She's running for her life. Yeah, well, however you want to describe him. I know it's lady and demon, but it's like you said, cat and mouse. He's chasing her. He's obviously I got the vibes of man, he's the serial killer, obviously, and he's about to rock her shit. But the twist dumbfounded me. I was like, wait a minute, she's the fucking killer. Because, she has a weird fucking sex fantasy of serial killer trying to kill her. Weird sex game. But, it was a good twist. I liked it. I enjoyed it. That's all I had to think about that one.
All right. What about you, JR?
Exactly at the 50-minute mark is where you start seeing the signs that she's actually the one doing the baiting. And the fact that she is teasing him the whole time. And, once he hits a peak, she stops immediately. And she starts demeaning him. What's her line? After the cocaine, this is supposed to make you horny. Well, you thought we were going to have sex. Well, if you can't, get in the mood in 5 minutes, then I guess we're not. So, you just... Before she even went to the bathroom and, got her little blade out and got the little, taser and stuff, I'm sitting there like, all right, she's the one playing him. I mean, this is one of those films. I didn't see the trailer, but from what I've read, the trailer fools you once again. So this movie was teased very well in the fact that it took you 50 minutes into the film to start getting the hints of who's the one that's actually the serial killer.
What about you, Rick?
It's interesting because again, I don't read into it. I don't watch trailers. I don't know anything about the films. And as soon as I think when the lady character, once she pulled her bandage off and the way she just poured the alcohol on the wound and just the way she was acting, right there immediately I said, I guarantee you it's a switch around. She is gonna be the antagonist. While I mean the demon wasn't exactly the greatest of guys. Obviously, we don't know if it was shady or not, but the way he was, binging on the coke a little later on, I get why. But even the fact that he was literally trying to murder her, like seriously, even though yes, we know why, but he is still a cop. Cops don't normally act that way. They like to apprehend. But because he was doing something he should have been doing, he wanted to tie up all those loose ends. So he's not the greatest of guys, but still, he wasn't the villain. It was this character. So I mean, I was already in tuned into all of that, but I wasn't sure yet. I wasn't sure. When I believe it was the Hair Kitty chapter, when you see the demon is slowly like looking for her, chanting the Hair Kitty, and you see her, locked in the little, what we don't know what it was at the time. It gave me Kill Bill 2 vibes, sitting in a little
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But when he walks out and you see the dead body of the older gentleman that she, that let her in, that's when I said to myself, ooh, wait a minute. They didn't show him killing him. I guarantee you it's going to be revealed that she is the one that did that. So that's when I was like, okay, all right, this has to be a twist at this point. So, yeah, that's my quick thoughts on it. But what I will say is, it's a really basic story if you really think about it, but what made it unique was the non-linear approach to the storytelling and the fact that it was broken up into chapters, and each chapter revealed something that you needed, like a little piece of the puzzle to get the overall, like, a vision of what they're trying to, sell you in the movie. So I think that is the genius behind the film, but we'll get into it more as we go along. But yeah, that's my quick initial thoughts on the twist and everything as far as the plot.
Well, and for me, same thing, as you're paying attention, you realize something's not quite right with her. And I'm like, I didn't think about the alcohol. It crossed my mind. I'm like,
you know who I knew she was a psycho?
Seriously.
Real quick, because when she poured all that alcohol on her fucking wound, she lit a cigarette right after with all that alcohol splashed. She could have turned into a Ghost Rider at any second. So you knew, okay, she's freaking crazy, bro. And she's stupid or she's just nuts.
Yeah, I thought at the point.
Mind you, she's wearing medical scrubs in the very beginning of the film. So I'm thinking, okay, she's in survival mode. She's using her instincts by cleaning the wound. So
I thought she lit a cigarette to cauterize it at first. I thought, oh man, she's gonna burn her whole face off to cauterize that wound. That's what I thought she was doing. But when she was just smoking on it, first of all, you're letting the demon know where you're at. And most of all,
I knew she was getting crazy in the car. I think it was I don't even remember what chapter it was, but when they were talking in the car and she was questioning and are you a serial killer? Like that's when I knew something was fucking off.
That line came out twice, and it came out in the beginning of the film. Well, I think in chapter 5.
But it also came out. 3. That's what.
Chapter 3 is where it
started. You're right. I know what you mean, GR. I know what you mean, GR. Yeah, you're right.
So then, for me, when she lit the cigarette for the first time, I'm like, how stupid are you? But then I'm thinking, like, hold up, this is diversion because she knows he's gonna stumble on there. The smell of cigarettes, burning butt on the floor. It's a distraction, but
she ran the other way.
This film, when I started watching this, like the first 10 minutes, all I thought about, all right, so this is what happens if Tarantino and Ty West get together.
Yeah. It did kind of feel like an amalgamation of both both their styles.
Yeah.
But because the one thing I did love, I fucking loved the Demon's music.
Yeah.
Every time, dude. I mean, every time you heard, you're sitting there but the way I think, like you said, the way it was shot, what helped out is because, you know, when they're sitting in the car and it pans out to show you his shotgun, and you know, I actually did see the trailer. This was one of the trailers I saw. Did anybody? Rick JR say he didn't. I know Rick did.
I didn't.
Did you, Lexi? It was
No.
another one. There was a movie. Oh, Barbarian. And there just recently another one that we talked about that did the same thing.
Cuckoo.
It was not that one.
That one
I know, but one that we reviewed on here. But yeah, it's same thing. The trailer completely tricked you. It made you feel that it's her basically trying to survive him, and he's the serial killer. And I loved how the beginning had the voice giving you the story about
That was Jason Patrick, by the way.
Was that Jason Patrick?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Because I was listening because
love that.
Giovanni Ribisi is one of the producers, and there's a narration, so he must have been the one that was talking about the Sasquatch when she showed up to the
That was Ribisi, by the way. His
the voice on the okay.
Yeah, he
I
was
thought
one
so.
of them. Yeah, that was him.
All right.
You're
But yeah,
right.
I just fuck, like, for me, when you got that twist, you're like, oh shit, okay, so he actually wasn't trying to kill her. He actually was just really trying to, have sex with her, and she turned it around on him. She realized she fucked up. I love while he's sitting there, in his K-hole, grabs that gun and fucking shoots her ear. When he shot her ear off, I'm like, oh shit, this movie is on. Like, I thought it was, and she's like,
bro, you know me, I have OCD, right? The whole time I didn't realize in the start that was a bandage. I thought she got injured in the accident, and I thought maybe her ear was hanging off. She just
I didn't know it was a
decided-
bandage either.
I couldn't tell, so I thought it was hanging, and she just ripped off her ear because it was gone anyway. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But then when they go later, he shot her fucking ear off. All right, now that, but you couldn't really tell for some reason. I don't know why. That was maybe I just got to see it again. That wasn't focused.
It
on
was
her ear.
fucking soaked in blood. You couldn't tell.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
saw
Okay.
it was a wound when she's running in slow motion. In the
She was
beginning.
like burnt off.
Yeah.
I think you noticed it when she knocked on the door and asked for help. That's when you saw that her ear was missing.
Oh, it was already
chunks out
gone
of
by
it.
then, though. But
I know
She
it was,
she
but I'm
ripped it
saying,
off.
she already had taken it off. By then, I knew. But
all right.
I'm talking about when she's running and when she's smoking the cigarette, or
Yeah.
before, that whole sequence when she
Gotcha.
pauses
Yeah.
for a minute. Yeah.
Well, and I also thought that turning the movie around and it actually now being a cop, he was obviously questionable. It sounded like he had a drug problem. She must have figured that out along the way in their conversation, which is why she enticed him. And as soon as she pulled out, I saw that they pull out the vial and then the bag. I'm like, did he not notice that? And the other part, the fucking thing tapped on the mirror. So she showed him a baggie. Not that I know about this stuff, but she showed him a baggie, and when the glass thing hit, she's like, tap, tap, tap. Like, wouldn't he have been like, it's weird. Why is
But do you notice something the way that scene was shot though? I mean, Rick might
He was
have
kind
picked
of
it up.
at a distance.
No, but he was at a distance, but he was focused. He was
Yes.
focused. She was blurry, and the cocaine was focused, which is an interesting technique that they use. Because I'm sitting there like, hold on, that's actually cool.
Yeah, I like that.
She's focused. She's
caught that.
blurry, and then you got the coke totally focused. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Because he's
Mhm.
recovering, and he's like, it wasn't at that point, it wasn't about her. It's obviously he did coke before because he mentioned it. It's been a while. So when he's seeing it, like, that's his demon. Like, basically, he's looking at one of his inner demons. Oh, that literally just came up with that one.
If you're drugged up on the ketamine, though, they do say, I don't know if it's that particular drug in general, but to
You have to do cocaine
to
to get out of
remove,
it.
yeah. I saw it in this movie Villains. I saw the same shit happen. They were drugged the same way. They're paralyzed, foaming, and the way they got out of that state was they did actual cocaine, and it
Yes.
triggers their
The
I don't
adrenaline
know.
rush.
Yes.
Yeah,
Supposedly that's
exactly.
what
Wow.
Supposedly
That's
what
that's
she's-
why he got up and started like
Yeah.
doing the cocaine real quick. So
But that's supposedly
I
done in
didn't
the
know that.
party scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what happens ketamine is a horse tranquilizer.
paralyzing agent. Yeah.
It's a very, very strong one.
Sedates
So
you. It's a
taking
strong
on a human
sedative,
being.
essentially,
Yeah. You're supposed to do a little bit just for it to be a hallucinogen. It's kind of like mushroom. Not that I didn't know
This guy
about
knows
it,
everything, bro. Look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
but if you do a little too much, it's not good for you. So you have to do something like the cocaine to get you out of it. But yeah, I mean, again, I thought that one of the coolest part of this movie was just when it turned it around, and now this cat and mouse chases. This guy's just like, bitch, you fucking carved in me. You tried to kill me. I'm gonna get you now. So, like, for me, he wasn't totally the bad guy in the movie. He was just a victim that survived and was now just hunting her. So it went from cat and mouse to lion and lioness going against each other.
Well, when I noticed that the demon was Kyle from Smile, I was like, oh, it's a good guy. And then I loved that the open sequence was he was the bad guy. And I was a little sad that he would turn to be the good guy, sort of. And that but I do like that she was the bad bitch as the twist. So I liked it. But I liked also that he was bad too. Yeah.
Well,
I know. I was happy to see him.
Speaking of
was first in Walking Dead, so
let's look at the comments real quick before we move on.
I think I always mentioned that. There we go. Rose Thistlewood, hey guys,
Hi.
and Baby Boo. That's Mama, Mama Lexi right there. Selena, hey fam, what's up, Selena V? And
Hello.
Norn Rad, what up, my horror
Hey.
people? What up,
Hi,
Norn? What up, son? What's good, bro?
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was pouring my beer. All right. So speaking of the lady, which turned out to be the Electric Lady, a serial killer that I guess they've all been looking for. She used what I thought was an interesting excuse to kill, is that she sees demons, and while in the end, and if anybody once we talk about anything, it's your turn if you want to discuss the end on that part, you could go at it. But I thought it was kind of, again, she was a serial killer who wasn't necessarily killing good people. She saw demons. It made me think of Frailty. Has anybody seen Frailty?
Mhm.
You've seen it, Rick, right?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, we covered it, man.
We covered it. I just was checking here. But yeah, so, where he killed, like, God sent him visions of demons that they had to smite. So she was going around basically smiting demons. But then I kind of always thought, well, was everybody a demon along the way here? Because it was...
Well, she spares certain people, though, if you notice.
She did,
Yeah.
but, I mean, some of the... So actually, I'm going to go to you, Rick. Like, did you think she actually killed because she saw demons? Or...
No,
she
no,
fucking
no.
just a
I don't-
killer?
I'll be honest. This is the one aspect I didn't like. I wish they never included that
I
at
agree.
all. Even when she looked in the rear view and you saw the little quick like flicker of, I'm like, oh no CGI. Come on, what is this? Come on.
It was the demon.
I agree.
She saw herself as the demon.
This movie did not need that. Serial killers don't need they don't gotta be justified as to why they do things. They just do things. That's just who they are. That's what makes them so interesting, because it could be anybody at any time. I don't need people seeing demons. And it's weird because when she killed the sheriff, my man from Breaking Bad, she looked up like she saw something, like, oh my god, like I was like, oh shit, what is she gonna see? Then she blows his brains. I'm like, oh god, don't tell me this is what this movie's gonna devolve into. Please no, I don't want it to go into this. But it was very minor at least, so I'm not gonna, it's more of a nitpick than anything. I don't think she was seeing. I think that's all in her head, and she did spare people, but she only took out people that kind of threatened her in a sense. Like if you were like people who were threatening to call the police, for example, the older people, the hippie doomsday preppers,
And Begley Jr.
and the head clerk of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like they were gonna call her. She didn't kill the young girl, so she sold her stuff, and the other cop was nice to her. She let her go. But I just, it's weird. It's an interesting character, and I want to know more. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's better to leave it ambiguous. But we don't know why she went around doing what she did. We just don't really know anything much about the character. I mean, they call her the Electric Lady because of the taser. I mean, it was a year-long killing spree she did. It was 1 year, and this is the tail end of it. But why did they call her that? And I'm assuming it was because she tased people, right? I mean,
Well, she did carve EL.
She carved him, EL.
but that's because
Yeah.
they dubbed her the Electric Lady.
Yeah.
She didn't call herself that. The cops always name these perps. And
Yeah.
when they don't know who you are, that's what they with serial killers. Like they don't name themselves these. The
That's
cops
true.
I
always.
think it's a
like,
stupid name.
The cops
As the serial killer.
or like the press, for example, the press usually do that. They'll
Mhm.
give you a nickname for this particular killer. So, but maybe she named herself. The film never got into those details. It doesn't need it, honestly. But That's the only part I didn't like, the demons part. I don't think she was seeming demons. I just think she was fucking just, like JR mentioned earlier, the other film, cuckoo.
What about you, JR?
Well, remember the thing she would say though. I didn't want to do it, but I had to.
Yeah, because
when
there
she
was
killed
two
those two
strikes.
people,
Yeah,
it was
see?
just I didn't want to do it because I had to.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
why the demon could have been used as her own imaginary trigger, I felt like she was always in survival mode, because even when, think about it, she had to make herself feel like her life was in danger with him, even though she's the one that told him to do that, in order for her to eventually kill him. So that's the way I figure she lured her victim. She put herself in a predicament to feel like she was in danger, where she has to set that trigger, that survival mode. And she said the same thing when that dumbass redhead lady cop, who botched the whole
Oh my
thing.
god, yeah.
Terrible
I
character,
mean-
by the way.
Yeah.
No
she
cop
was
would ever
trying
act
though.
like that.
She was trying.
But it's just like the other guy said, you should know, like, this is not how you.
I know,
do
but
things.
That's
the thing is-
protocol.
The thing is that when she walked in there and found her with her pants down, she was just trying to, at the moment, protect another woman who it
let her
looked like
feelings
she was
get in the
gonna
way.
be.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. And I love how the sheriff was like, "You fucking bitch! I should have let her."
Oh
It
my
looked
god,
like he was
that's the
gonna fucking
best.
bitch slap her at one point. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought, I was like,
Just let her
all
kill
these
you.
cops are bad.
Because he
I mean,
knows he's dumb fucked up. I warned you.
Think about how dumb she was. She told her run in the forest. She's climbing the fucking hill to get to the forest. I mean, and she goes, "Oh,
go the other way."
You don't have to do this." And she goes, "Shut the fuck up. I'm in survivor mode." So her survivor mode was always the trigger for her to kill somebody.
Yeah,
And that's
how I
where,
took it, yeah, me too.
yeah, that's what I mean. She sometimes in serial killers need an excuse or need something to make that be their trigger. And for her, is like, all right, my life's in danger. I'm gonna kill you because, like, I don't want to, but I have to.
Think about it too, GR. You're right, because I don't think she would have killed the two. Well, one's a biker, the other one's a hippie. But let's just say they're both hippies.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have, because they fed her. They were gonna give her some medication. But once the phone call came into play, and she said, "Please don't do that. Don't do that." She kills him, and then she could have easily killed the wife right there, but she decided, "I'm gonna just tie you up, lock you up, get you out of the way." But she killed her later because, again, she was gonna spill the beans. Yeah.
And what did the old lady? The whole conversation she had with the old lady. All right, you don't have to tie you up. What's the best way to do it? And she's like asking her. I mean, that's not a conversation. So if she was a killer, she would have did.
Yeah. She's like,
She didn't want to harm her.
She
gave her
fastest. The fastest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave her options. Then the other lady, when she killed the hostess, there's the other lady standing there, and she's like, let me get your, I'm not gonna kill you. Let me get your.
Said a Pinto, Joe.
Yeah,
I thought a Joe.
Pinto.
I thought.
Listen, I don't know. I've said it before. If I'm involved as a witness in a car accident, I will not be able to give you details in the car. As soon as that car went, I'm like, that's a Pinto. And Adam's like, how's that the only fucking car you know?
You know why? Well, because you have nightmares, Joe. The dog incident, right?
The dog went, yes, I know, but we had one too.
You had a Pinto. Yeah.
Yes, we had a Pinto. My mom tried to teach me to drive on the Pinto. When we are at St. Augustine's, JR, you know
Oh,
how
your
the,
mom. I
when,
thought you meant you and Adam had one.
when you go out the back out of the parking lot, and there's that big tree. I almost crashed into the fucking tree in it. That was the last time my mom gave me driving lessons. After that point, she hired somebody. But that's how I know the Ford Pinto. But what? All right, Lexi, what about you? Did you think she was seeing demons or?
No, I didn't. Rick said it perfectly. It was not needed, the demon aspect of it. And I'm glad they didn't dig into it to make it like part of the story the entire time, because I was already, and I like slow burns. I mean, I was thinking of JR the entire time I was watching this, because I was like, this is a good "What's Your Story" episode. But it did not need that aspect of demons. I think she was just fucking off her rocker, and she was just fucking psychotic. But I noticed like there was moments where again she let some of the people go, and all the people that she did let go were women. So I don't know if she had like a thing against men. We didn't know her story. They were very vague on her character. So those are my nitpicks, similar with Rick, about this film. Yeah, it wasn't needed. I didn't like the little glitch of the demon coming out. I just really think she was off her rocker on drugs. She lived a hard life, probably. But that's all guessing
And she was a
what
vapor
her character
too.
was.
No offense, Joe.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, because if she's supposedly kills demons, and as she sees her reflection and sees the flash of a demon, is the way that I took that, was that she now in her own reflection saw that she was a demon. So when she pulled the gun out, I don't think she pulled the gun out on the lady because she was going to shoot her. I think she pulled the gun out because she knew that this lady was probably going to do something. And basically, I now needed to end myself because I'm now the demon. Especially if you're going to go ahead and kill innocent people along the way that, you know, just because they were going to call 911. So therefore, like I'm going to, because for me, I know you guys didn't like it, but I kind of did somewhat like it because it meant that she saw something in, because they don't give them a name.
I guess the little snippet of her, I guess, story or past or whatever we want to call it, she did say in that scene when they were in the car that when she was questioning, are you a serial killer and all, but she was saying life is hard in this field of prostitution. Obviously, she's a prostitute, right? So
no, she was saying for women. No. She's saying
for
women.
yes,
For women.
that's what I'm.
No. Meaning what she's trying to say is that women are always being, when in situations like this, especially like a one night stand, the women are putting themselves more at risk, as opposed to men. And this is, you know,
right. That's what I'm getting at.
No, but I don't think she was a prostitute. I don't think.
Yeah,
so. I didn't get that. I think something may have happened to her.
I don't know. Yeah.
And,
one thing that would give away prostitute would be the bad wig.
I mean,
if this guy didn't realize that's a wig, I don't know.
But see, then I thought the electric lady was because the electric colors of wigs that she wore.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the only thing I thought about was the
I still think it's
electric
a taser.
color.
I mean,
it's a taser. I think
right,
taser. It's
she wasn't with a taser. She tased.
It could be both. How about we go with both?
Well, I mean, nobody really seen her, so you can't really describe the wig she was wearing. So nobody really knows what
she couldn't leave him behind though.
Yeah, but
nobody's seen her, so you know. So
yeah, it's right. If they would have seen her, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
remember the cop lady when she turned around, she goes, "Are you really the electric lady?"
Oh, and one thing too, Joe.
I don't know what she looks like.
I'm gonna counter your argument there at the end because when she seen herself, she smiled. When she seen herself as a demon, she smirked and she was happy what she saw
because she was gonna die.
No, but she didn't know that.
She wanted to die.
That's what I was getting at with the conversation in the car because the character of her character is the lady. The guy was the demon. I thought so. In my perspective, I thought when she had that scene in the car, like with the whole women have to go through more, then she looked at men as demons. So that's what I thought. I don't know.
Because the thing too is, what song was playing in the background when she pulled out the gun? You guys weren't listening.
Love Hurts?
Nope.
Love Hurts.
That's the only song that was licensed.
That wasn't. That wasn't.
No, the demon song.
In the background. She pulled out the gun because she's always in control. So she was going to make the lady drive her to where she wanted to. But the song that was playing, this whole scene was, I wrote it down too. It's, oh, better the devil you know than the one you don't know. So she didn't know that lady was ready. So it was accidental that when she pulled out the gun, she wasn't expecting that lady to be carrying a gun either. So when the lady shot her, now think about this though. The lady shot her. She had 2 guns,
and she didn't pull them out.
She didn't pull them out because
she wanted to die. No, she wanted to die.
She could have still pulled out the gun because the gun was right there.
I agree with you. But we're both.
If she would have pulled out the gun, then she would have died a quicker death. That's how killers wanted to go. Because what's the lady say? I have her, and I'm bringing her in.
Do we know that she didn't die though? We don't even know.
Well, the thing is, she also because if you start, which was really cool. If you go rewatch it again, colors. You can see her color. Like by the time it goes black and white, that's when her skin goes gray from bleeding out. Basically,
she died then? And the ironic thing is, the movie started black and white, ended in black and white.
Well, and again, here's why it's good. I'm glad.
Cool. That's cool.
I'm glad we did this one because it's another one of those. Everybody's gonna have their different perceptions of it, you know, because as Rick said, the movie's very ambiguous. So you got to fill some of this stuff in on, why she became a killer, why she did that. I just, again, for me, it was because it's coming to an end. She may have killed way too many innocent people along the way, and it was time for her to die. And when she smiled, it was because she's like, all right, I'm the demon. Because we're sitting there going, well, she's got 2 other guns. I'm like, no.
She, you gotta understand.
She wanted to die. She was done.
She was shot in the arm, beat
Yeah,
up.
she was all
Her
banged
ear
up
is
anyway.
fucking gone. Probably her equilibrium must have been shot to death.
And
By
dude,
that
that's another
point, bro,
gun shooting at you, so now you have that.
because she went for it,
gun
but I just saw that she was just weak and just lifeless at that point.
I mean, again, see, it's.
But they
another
left it
one.
open because, again,
it's great that it's open for interpretation
open, yeah.
for the individual who's watching
It
it.
is.
And when you rewatch it again, you might pick up other different things.
Yeah, sure.
So was there anybody before we go to closing, like a little bonus question, because obviously we were serial killer was waiting to see a lot of the kills or more kills, but were any scenes that stood out for you that you really, really loved? Like for me, honestly, when he shot her ear off, it wasn't the fact that he shot her, it's the ringing sound if you walk by my house like you're walking your dog, my speakers are loud. Like you hear clearly like voices. So I'm sitting there with this loud and the ear ringing. I was like, oh man, this is done so good.
Dude, I love the old guy that came out. What's going on? He got a gun. So do I.
They
never showed him again.
They didn't use it.
They never showed him again.
But yeah, for me, I love that sequence when basically she didn't check his other leg, which is funny because she took off his one sock.
Took off, yeah.
To stuff it in his mouth. That was all she needed it for. So if she would have gone for the other leg, she'd be like, oh, tricky, you got a gun here. So, because I was sitting there going, wait, where's this movie going to go, though, if she kills him right now with this? And when that happens, I was like, oh, I love this. This is where, like, the movie, it's, the unexpected, like, this is going to get, like, fucking bonkers. So, Lexi, I'll go to you first. Like, was there any standout scene for you in the movie, or kill, if you want to talk about a kill?
It was definitely the scene in the hotel where, we get the opening scene where he's choking somebody. We don't see who it is. And then we get back to that scene where he's choking. And then I knew she was, like, I was starting to figure it out when they were in the car. But then when she said harder, that's when I knew she was the psycho and the killer of the film. Yeah, that's that whole scene, though, with, I guess, them trying to have sex and then the ear being shot, that whole thing, I knew it was about to go down. So yeah, I mean, that was the best part of the film.
You're right, Lexi. That was a good double fate, because at that point, all right, we know he's choking her, but then he's obviously they show her and she's into his role playing, but then when he gets really serious, starts slapping her, and here it comes. Here comes the heel turn. This is it right here.
Yeah, because they did a good job covering the fact that she was the serial killer.
And
they
then
did a
when
good
they
job.
had Mr. Snuggles, whatever, I don't know what it is.
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Something like that.
Snuffleupagus from
she says it, they both stop, and then it cuts to the other scene again. Like, oh, it's a safe
word.
That's what. Okay, my man is innocent. It is her. I was right.
But that whole scene, I was thinking, what in the G-Eazy and Halsey is going on here, man? I was like, that's what they look like to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, and I love when they were like, because I think it was after she had asked him if he was a serial killer. Then they show it flashes to the scene, him like choking her, and you're like, oh, sweet, okay. So this guy's fucking going around killing women. This girl is fucked. Now I get what this movie's gonna be about.
When I saw that, right, and then they
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you notice that every time, like when they went into the hotel, or she ran into the reception of the hotel, help me, or the 2 cops, help me, they all, or the lady at the very end, help me, because she had a very good, strange way of acting like the innocent person. When she was running away, they all said, "Oh, my darling, oh, darling."
Yeah. I caught that.
I caught
it. I caught it with the receptionist. I didn't notice they said it other times, but yeah, I noticed that. I was waiting for that. Someone's gonna say the strange darling song, but it was darling.
Well, the song that was also in the beginning part, where you were gonna say something, right, though.
I was saying like I forgot. Just
I'm sorry.
no, it wasn't important. It was just something that popped into my mind about the movie. It might come back later.
What about you, Jared? Any favorite scene in this movie?
Oh, something about the Strange Darling song. Do you notice that there was no title in the beginning of the film?
That
Because
was-
the song was doing the title. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool. And
yeah.
I love that because I was sitting there waiting for a title and I hear Strange Darling. I was like, all right, so I love that. I love the fact that they didn't show the title. They had the song. But
Yeah,
for
I
me,
Remember
I'm
that.
sorry. My favorite scene was when he thought he had her and she fucking took out the beer spray and shit, started spraying his face, and then he's like, now mind you, this is the part that had me laughing. I was like, this motherfucker's stumbling and he's going towards her. And then
To
the
get
minute
it
she
away
grabs
from her,
him-
though.
I'll get into that. That was this movie's full of shit.
no, to get it, listen, it's in your eyes.
Thank you, GR. Thank you for bringing it up.
You walk into the next room because she's handcuffed.
Thank you, JR. Thank you.
Because the whole time you're thinking, all right, this dude called his boy, they're gonna
Yes.
do some shit.
This
And-
motherfucker.
And I'm like, hold up, dude. So you could have just handcuffed the thing closed.
She's,
and
not,
have her
she's
locked
not
in.
going nowhere.
So he
You're
wasn't
right.
Yeah,
like the brightest
I agree on
because
that.
Just walk
he
into
was-
the next room, wash your
Yeah.
face off. Like, what
That's
the
the
fuck?
fucking cocaine got to him, man. Couldn't even make
Oh
it
my
in.
God.
But
Listen,
when she bit his neck though, and I
Oof.
know Ricky loved this practical effects. That blood
You're
was just,
Dawn of the Dead. Once I saw
Yeah.
that one big squirt, all right, he's dead.
Mm.
He ain't coming back.
oh
from
yeah.
Man, he
Once they
stumbles
saw
back,
that,
Oh, yeah.
goes to the
carotid
table,
artery.
next to-
He's
yeah, goes
gone.
to the table.
yeah, I was like, oh no. That's when I got mad. I was like, no, I want.
But
I
I love that though because you felt like she was always in control no matter what, and I think the fact that
which is good
He-
because
yes, because she was very good at what she did, and the help me please. If you notice, every time she said that, somebody ended up dead.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, that was my favorite scene because you thought he was gonna finally get her, and she fucking outsmarted him.
Well, he was stupid. I
was so
literally,
self-indulgent.
as we're watching the movie, and like there was a moment like Adam started talking to me, and I was like, you know, I'm reviewing this, so you need to shut up. But when that scene happened, we're both like, what the fuck's he walking over to her? Like, what is he doing? Like, yeah, no, we're like, what is wrong with you? And maybe I would say the story that they put together, the writers and everything, that's I would
Tremendous.
say was one of the flaws in there was it shouldn't have kind of gone that way. I'm also surprised that nobody's mentioned that Barbara Hershey, isn't she from somebody's favorite movies?
The Conjuring, or no, I'm sorry, Insidious. Yes.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to go.
I don't
Yep.
recognize.
I knew
her.
when I saw her, I was like, "Hey."
It's weird
Okay,
when Joe mentioned
Insidious.
all the names in the movie and he mentioned her. Like,
She
barely in this movie.
She was the Doomsday person. Well,
Yeah,
I
but so
I
is
had to
Ed
put-
Bigley Jr. That
I
guy's
know,
way
I know.
more known than
He is. I know, but for horror, that's why I wanted to put Barbara Hershey because of
Ah,
the.
that's cool. Where's
yeah,
she from? Insidious? Who she played in?
She's
that
in
movie?
Insidious. She's the
Is
mother.
she Lorraine, right? Lorraine.
No, she's
her
the
name?
mother.
Mm.
Oh yes, Lorraine.
Hey.
Yeah.
Lorraine. Yeah. I think it was Lorraine.
Yeah. But she was the mother of the daughter, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, the father. The grandmother to the child.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's also
That's why I wanted
Cora
to-
from Once Upon a Time.
Yep. She's been in a lot.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
recognize her in this movie.
I know her
Holy
from
shit.
Beaches, so you know.
She's in a lot of stuff.
Dude, she's in a
Yeah,
whole.
she's in Once Upon a Time. She's in
Yeah, she's in a lot.
Insidious.
Yeah,
Alright.
she's a big time actress. Actually, I would say she's sorry, Ed. I actually do like you, Ed Begley Jr. But I would say she's bigger than Ed Begley Jr.
Really? Wow. One thing I will say though, Ed Begley Jr. would play if they ever make a biopic of George A. Romero. The way he looked in this movie, his stature, even had the gray silver hair with the ponytail. The way he had.
I
it
love the
braided.
ponytail.
I'm like, that's George Romero, bro.
I
That
love.
shit-
Well, and it's funny because like I bought it. It's like you can tell that because he's like, I have a motorcycle, and it's like he's trying to go to her. I didn't used to be like this. I'm crazy because of this woman here, like because as she's walking up to their compound and they're blasting the Sasquatch interview.
Oh,
I'm
man,
like,
what the- that was
First
random.
of all, I would not
I
have gone
liked
into that
them.
house.
I would have been like,
I,
why is that playing? What's going? What
I-
are these
yeah.
speakers?
I would not have gone. I mean, honestly, that's a big, huge red flag. There's something's wrong with these
Hold
people.
on,
And then,
hold on.
what?
That breakfast though. Come on, tell me you didn't
That
get
was-
Let me
hungry.
ask you, what the fuck was that?
No.
It
What was
started
that,
off looking good until they started
Dude.
adding like strawberries.
Eggs,
and,
the
Yo!
strawberry jam.
Talk about diabetes on a plate. What the
Dude.
fuck?
Yeah.
I love eggs. I love eggs. But when
Oh,
they
yeah,
fucked up the
those are-
eggs with everything, I was like, oh no, what is going on here? What is
Pancakes. No,
happening?
they put
Fucked it
on
up
top
with
of
the
the
fruit.
pancakes.
Yeah, you
Well,
put pancakes and a bunch of
yeah,
all types
yeah,
of
so,
syrup and
well,
blueberry shit. Like, ugh.
He made the
Heart
sausage
attack on a plate.
and he cooked the egg in the sausage fat.
Yeah,
So
I caught that.
as he's doing
Well, you
it,
know he's a chef, because chefs, that's how they cook. They use everything.
oh yeah, you use everything.
Use
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
flavoring.
That's how you know
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a real chef. Yeah.
Some of the bacon, pancakes cooked in bacon fat is actually really fucking good.
Yeah,
believe it or
Joe
not.
should know. Joe's a good cook.
But now when I started seeing this, I looked at him. I'm like, I will never be that high. I will never be that
Same, bro.
high.
I'll
that
never have munchies
I
like that.
will
but
just
never,
seriously
bro.
I have done
You
some
cannot feel
questionable
good after
shit
that.
when I like put stuff together. But when I saw this, I'm like, no. And
You
he's like
cannot feel good after eating
pouring
that
that
They're
jam.
high as
It was-
fuck, man. They're having fun, man. They're hippies.
shit. They're high. They were high.
I don't
yeah,
care
yeah.
how high you are.
They were just laughing.
They were giggling.
Yeah, they were high.
You know what? They were
That's the
high.
best part. They were high as
Yeah,
fuck.
shit,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Damn,
I'm
dude,
sorry, you
that,
cook some crazy shit when you're high. So I mean,
that bitch
We've all
showed
done
up
that
and
shit.
fucked up their high. That's some fucked up. They got high,
Facts.
made themselves a
What's the
crazy
funny
ass
thing he told her?
breakfast. Huh?
She goes, "You got any drugs?" Yeah, we got Percocets. She goes, "No, that's not Percocets." She goes, "Baby,
Those. They only got a couple left.
Yeah. That's your signal right there.
That is very true. Well, and then when she said that they're doomsdayer, I was like, okay, some of that makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Obviously, any last minute things, and if you guys are watching the show for the first time, we rate it from 1 through 5, and we cheat. We do 0.5s and 0.75s. So I'm
Mainly Joe.
going, huh?
Mainly Joe.
I know.
I
I know. Y'all use it too.
No, I never go
very
that low.
rarely. Very-
0.5
probably
maybe.
We
just
have
one-
comments. I feel like we haven't checked.
No, we don't have
I
any.
don't
No.
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 I can't.
Alright, so-
I don't have access to see it, so I don't know.
No, you're good. I'm actually, Lexi, I'm going to go to you first. Any last minute thoughts and your rating?
I mean, I liked my rating. I'd probably give it a good 3.5. I like slow burns, but it was really slow. It was really, really slow. However, what I liked about it was the story for sure. I liked, and I'm a person that watches things in chronological order. So for them to go out of chapter order, I thought that was actually a neat touch.
She's a rookie.
It made my
She's
eye
a
twitch a
rookie.
little.
So wait,
I
hold
know-
on. So you never have? So have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yes, but
Have you seen Memento?
no.
Irresistible. No, irreversible.
Irreversible. Irreversible.
It's a
I know
different
she.
type.
No. Actually, no. Don't no.
No, I'm not
Lexi,
saying
do
to
not watch Irreversible.
Oh
Now
wait,
she's really
no.
gonna wanna
See,
watch
you
it
did a
now.
review
Yeah.
on that on what's movies
No,
that
no,
fucked
no,
me
no,
up.
no,
I
no,
won't
no,
do
no,
it.
no, Lexi, don't do that one.
I'm
But,
not going to. No,
you
I'm
gotta
not watching
check
that
out.
one.
You gotta check out Memento.
I will never
I
watch
mean,
that movie again.
Mhm.
Memento
No,
is an awesome
I
movie.
remember hearing your review about Irreversible. I'm not doing that one. But yeah, no. But I did like that they went, out of order in chapters and they went back and forth. I think it was better that way because they didn't give it. If they would have done that, they would have gave it right off the bat. When we found out she was the killer, that would have. I believe that was chapter 3, so it would have came on early if they would have went in order. So I do like that they went out of order. Like I said, they definitely, especially in the sex scene or what they were trying to be with have sex. They reminded me of G-Eazy and Halsey, and I was like, low key asked myself, is this the story about them or something? Because they look a lot alike as that couple. Overall, it was a great story. I enjoyed every single character. And I think I gave my rating, 3.5?
Yeah.
I think I already said that. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
And she's not drinking, by the way.
No,
All
I wish.
right,
Oh, you
JR, the villain, my brother. What did you think?
See, I'm gonna give it a 4 because the cinematography was good. I enjoyed the score of the movie. I thought the score was very well done in the film.
Thank you
Because
for
all the
mentioning that.
parts were heard. There was always a song singing along. all the parts with him is always a different kind of music. The lighting in this film was phenomenal. I love the fact that when they were sitting in the truck the whole time, it was blue lighting. When she went into the bathroom, when she finally triggered, the bathroom light inside was red the whole time.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you guys seen this at the end, was when she looked at the woman. If you noticed, before everything went black and white, it looked like there was a glow coming from the woman who was driving. So go back and watch it again. It's slick the way they did the lighting in it, but you'll see there's almost like a glow coming from the woman who's driving, and they didn't show her again after that. So for me,
the Native American woman, right?
yes.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
for me,
cool, man. She was
it was mostly dialogue driven, because there was, what was it, the
Right.
chapter 6, which was called, I'm sorry, who's
I haven't
Gary
wrote it all
Gilmore? Hey, who's
Yeah.
Gary Gilmore? I mean, she
real
basically-
person, by the way.
It was a
Yeah.
real person. It was somebody
Yeah.
who, yeah. What?
And
How did she
she
go out?
enticed him with the story, though. So he's the whole time, who's Gary Gilmore? So, and once again, and I know I've been harking on this in the last things I've been reviewing, this was a great performance by her. I mean, I thought her
100%.
character was awesome, and this is once again another female lead in a movie of 2024 that did a phenomenal job. And we talked about, I know Joe talked about Debbie Moore in Substance. Me and Lexi talked about Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate.
Naomi,
Mhm.
Naomi,
Naomi.
and Smile
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, Smile to it. Then
Yeah.
you had I forgot, I apologize, the girl from
I forgot her name, but Cuckoo
girl from Alien Romulus. She did a good job in her role. The girl from Cuckoo,
and the girl from Cuckoo was really good. Really good.
Hunter Schafer.
and the female
Yeah.
lead in Violet. So you had a lot of strong women
Mhm.
leads in 2024, and the one thing in common, they were mostly all slow burns. But yeah, I'm going to give it a
Love
4.
this.
Hell yeah! I mean,
I know you
Now
do.
I will
know.
say
Hey,
Kyle would make a really good villain
No.
when because of the opening sequence. He will make a good villain in a horror film one day, unless
and
there's one I haven't seen yet.
the blood was used at the right time. They could have went go overboard with her killing a shitload of people, but I like the fact that how the kills went and how she coped with killing somebody, because she always made an excuse. You know, I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Which I love the fact that she used that line, and she had a very sarcastic character, which is awesome. And you don't see it. I think the most sarcastic character we've seen in horror was when we did the review for Totally Killer. And her character was fucking amazing because she was very sarcastic, but granted, she was making fun of our generation, but our generation is better. But yeah, that was 4 for me.
All right, Ricky.
This film, off the jump, as soon as it started, I knew it was gonna be something special because it didn't feel like a regular movie.
Mhm.
Every single shot, every single scene, when it cut to the next frame or whatever it was stylistic. The music, I wrote it down here because Craig DeLeon was the composer. Gr, awesome guy, because awesome job. I should say,
Yeah.
because yes, he gave the demon an
fucking
identity.
score.
Whenever
Dude.
he's on screen, it could be so the music it quiets down. Then once he pops in, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And the way they use the licensed music, like Love Hurts, you know, it reminded me like Quentin Tarantino, Rob Zombie, the way they take actual, James Gunn as well, the way they take actual like music
songs.
and yes, and integrate it into the actual film and the scene itself that they're working on. It was great, and I love like the intro when she's running in slow motion to Love Hurts, and the credits, boom, boom, boom. Then it says in, and like JR said, it cuts. Then another song starts, and it's singing "Strange Darling," an original song, and then you go into title. Great. I'm like, oh my god! And every scene, from one scene to the next, from the beginning, it just, I was like, okay, these motherfuckers are going in. And this is before I knew it was out of order. I didn't know any of that shit, obviously. And then once, you know, it picked up, okay, all right, now I get the tone of the film. It's non-linear, and like I said, the plot is basic as fuck. If this was a linear film, honestly, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been so boring.
No,
Oh,
no. Yeah.
Been
no.
here, done that, seen it.
Yeah.
I figured this movie out early, so I would have been even more pissed if
Yeah.
there was nothing. You know what I'm saying? But the way it was shot, and again, every chapter gave you another piece of the puzzle, and it kept it fresh. The only problem is with this style, it does stuff it goes missing. Like I would like to know how the fuck. I mean, he was drugged up. She was been gone. The fact that he found her on the road and they never really got to that. She was already driving. It's minor. It's not a negative, but that's the only like drawback with making film like this, because it happens in Tarantino films. It happens in any film that goes non-linear. It has to take liberties in the storytelling aspect. It's more style over substance. In this movie, the style was fucking awesome. JR mentioned the cinematography. Of course, Giovanni Ribisi was the cinematographer in this movie. His very first cinematography credit. This was it.
Good job, Giovanni.
So I mean, he's been in the game for a long time. So you would think, you know, when you work with directors and other cinematographers, videographers, you tend to pick up on stuff. And this one here, this movie felt great because of the direction. I think the camera work was pretty good. Shaky at times, but again, by design. If that's not your bag, I understand. But it was fucking great as far as just a movie to look at and to listen to. Like every time it slows down, then you hear that brrr, you see the demon come on screen. Oh my god, it's about to pick up, you know. But then when the twist comes in, then it goes into more her music and she starts singing "Love Hurts." It's just great. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. And this movie, I'm gonna give it a 4 because it has so many logic issues though. Like when she's in the middle of the road. By the way, you never got to me. My favorite scene, Joe, was when he's driving, chasing her, and he's hitting all that cocaine. He's fucking going nuts. He stops the car, gets out, pulls out that fucking rifle. Bam! Shoots the back of her fucking windshield. She flips off. At first, I'm like, oh, he gave up that easy? But no, it's by design. Then that's when you still think, oh, this guy's a fucking killer. But really, he's a fucking cop. He's trained to do shit like that. So it makes sense. And I love how they foreshadowed the gun in the back of his car later on to give you that ominous, oh no, he's a bad guy. Then he puts the other gun, Chekhov's gun, Joe. He puts the little gun in his little, boot, walks in. I love all that stuff, man. And this movie, it's a fun movie, and it did not overstay its welcome. It had an epilogue.
No, it didn't.
And even with the epilogue, I was like, okay, all right. I'm still in it. I'm still invested. Like, it lost me near the end with the whole demons. I'll be honest, like, oh, no. Come on, you were doing so good. Stop. But, I mean, that is what it is. It's a movie. It's style over substance because we've seen it before. We've seen this plenty of times before. In the twist, again, it wasn't nothing that was crazy. But the way they shot it and flipped everything around, Miramax was actually disappointed with how this movie was going, and they actually told him, nope, we're gonna do this linear now. And that's the director, JT, what's his name?
TJ Mollner.
Mollner. This is one of his. I mean, he does other stuff, a lot of shorts and other films, but this is his first big one,
And so, they're gonna be calling him again.
So they must have been like, oh, this he's not proven. We don't like this direction. So they actually played it for a test screen, and the audience members were like gasping and yelling and cheering and just they were so into it. They said, no, okay, we're gonna go with your original direction now. The ball's in your court. Give us a good film, man. This movie's great. I loved it. I would have been higher if it wasn't, again, the guy gets sprayed in the fucking face with the bear fucking repellent. She's tied up, and instead of all running to the fucking nearest sink washing it, she's not going over. He goes right to her. He's struggling, like, dude, what's going on? Oh my god.
Like a moment from the monkey with her head all.
I'm not gonna keep naming all the parts, but this movie's full of stuff like that. Like my next one, when she's in the middle of the road and she moves at this last second and runs off, he like, she could have been ran, but she stops in the middle of the road looking at him.
Runs back. She runs the other way.
Oh my god.
He goes the other way, yeah.
What are you stopping and looking at him for?
But she's a killer though, so she just wants to see what the fuck he's about to do.
She's taunting him.
But in survival mode, if you're in survival mode, you're not gonna stop and how far is he? No, you're gonna move. You know he swerved. Come on. Again, they did that to show her, and they wanted the stylized shot of her in the middle and he's in the background. She's in the foreground. They wanted that establishing shot. I get it, but it just made the character dumb in my opinion. And the movie again with that other cop. Cops don't act that way. I'm sorry, you're trained not to. You're not supposed to be sympathetic towards victims or anyone. There's always protocol, and guess why there's protocol? Because shit like this happens. That's why there's protocol. So I don't know.
I was hoping he would slap a hoe.
they're nitpicks. I just had to get them out there.
Yeah.
But it's a great scene, and I love the sound design. Like when they're in front, GR, you can probably call it this. I watch this with headphones on. That's how I watch my films. Whenever they're outside that fucking hotel, was driving me crazy. But it was good because it was realistic. That buzzing of the signs.
The neon lights, yeah.
Oh my god, it drove me. I thought it was coming from my own room. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh, it's the fucking sign. Because when it's an outside establishing shot, it's really loud and profound. But when it's inside, it's more muffled and subdued because it's on the outside now. But it was always there. Even when they're inside the hotel, you still hear the zzz, the sign, the neon sign outside. Again, it was very well done, though. I love that little detail. Annoying, but it's meant to be. I love that. So, yeah, it's a 4. Fun movie. Definitely go out of your way and check it out if you get a chance.
All right. Well, first I'm gonna apologize, Rick, because I think I've been doing pretty well on not skipping anybody on questions. No, I'm just saying I think I've been doing pretty well, so I'm sorry about that. Like literally,
I didn't even notice until I got to that point. Oh wait a minute!
Well,
I never got to talk about it.
For me, this was a fucking great surprise. I'm actually really upset I didn't go see it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you,
and
that we didn't review it sooner. And the thing is, I literally, so the only thing that fucked it up for me was I wanted to, get the names of the people, before I decide, what I'm going to ask you guys. So as I'm looking up, I knew it was going to be in chapters. So I was like, oh, all right. But then when you saw it was in different chapters and not in the right order, I'm like, thank you for doing that because I appreciate that. This dude, TJ threw fucking Ty West. So when the lady was dying at the end, and you slowly watching her die, I thought about Ty West and Pearl when she held that smile in the end it shot on her face and it just wouldn't go away. And I'm like, okay, listen, the bitch is dying. How much longer we gotta watch? And I'm like, oh, she's changing color now. And then I'm like, oh my God, he did the right job, because now I started focusing on the fact that you actually watch somebody slowly die, which I've never seen. I don't want to see, but for me, her death felt so realistic at the end. I'm glad it ended that way. I'm glad it didn't end that she survived this, and we're gonna have Strange Darling too.
If she would have killed that dragon, I would have been so mad.
Yeah.
Come on, Jesus Christ.
Well,
I hate it when people are too.
The irony, though, that she jumped into the car with a Native American, which obviously Native Americans are in touch with different things, so they tend to sense and feel different things. So she used her own Native American instincts and that, because she was quick in her reaction.
She did it thing twice, so she pulled that fucking piece out.
She helped her. When she got in the car, because if you look, she went, uh-oh, I picked up the wrong hoe. It's not gonna be good. So it was like so yes, I guess I am the only one. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 just because it was unexpected. The music, the demons, whatever you want to call it. Rick, you're the music person.
His theme song.
His theme song. When it came on, I'm like, oh, Rick's gotta love this shit. It touched upon the cinematography, the shots. This movie was beautifully shot.
Especially the first 20 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Every shot was incredible. Between the way it was shot, the lighting they used for it, the music scores, everything synced up.
Right.
Whenever something happened on screen where there was a reaction from one of the characters, the music always boom. It highlighted that emotion, man. It was
awesome.
And that's what I say. It didn't feel like a regular film. It felt like a movie that was done by somebody that has something to fucking prove, bro. That's what it felt like.
Knows, you can tell who he appreciates.
Yeah.
He definitely is a Tarantino fan. He's definitely a Ty West fan. Without Lars von Trier, I literally, as I'm watching this, I'm like, this guy knows his
good
bar.
Show, by the way, for the Lars von Trier's.
Again, because
you're right.
If this would have gone straight on through and we would have given each chapter, it would have ruined it. We all agree on that. The fact that since it was choppy, it made it more that you're paying attention. If it would have been straight linear,
right,
it wouldn't have been as good. But on the linear part, each chapter would have been labeled the way that Lars labeled the house that Jack built. And you knew that in each chapter, whatever the name of that chapter was, that was an important part. So when you got the chapter and the name, you're like, all right, pay attention to this. This is going to be important to the story. Jay, are you going to say something?
But you gotta understand too is like what this movie did, and what a lot of horror movies don't do is they use each chapters to continue to build the characters. There was a lot of character development in this film.
Yeah,
as the
straight
movie
off the
went
list.
on, and I think that's what captivated us because we were pulled in by both characters. It's not, and they pull you in thinking he's a serial killer from the get-go, but I go back to that conversation they had in the truck, how they kept going back to that conversation. That was a very interesting conversation to the point where before we get into the next scene where he shoots her in the ear, he tells her, wow, you're really fucked up.
Yeah, that's another part. Is that all the stuff she kept asking for, you clearly saw he wasn't comfortable with.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, for me, she picked him because I know that, which is the part that you guys don't like. She picked him because she saw a demon. Because what other reason would she decide that she wanted to kill this guy? All right, so this is another. I'm glad we did this one. I'm glad. Thank you, Paramount Plus, for dropping it so we can finally fucking watch it because we missed out on this one going to the theaters. The next one, you don't have to go to the theaters. We're going to be doing Final Destination, the 25th anniversary. So finally, a lot of you young motherfuckers are going to start feeling old for the movies that you thought were like just a couple years ago. It was 25 years ago. For that one, Robbie from Robbie Loves Horror, he's going to be joining us. Lexi, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. You'll be joining us for Locked. We're definitely going to be doing Locked for the end of the month, and that is going to be Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård. I'm kind of looking forward to these two powerhouses. So,
I think Norn is joining us that night too.
Yep, Norn is on that one. Yeah. So make sure to join next week. As I said, check out Final Destination, subscribe, and Rick, take us home.
Hey, scared.